year ago, you had 2 NFL tight ends. You were coaching out there. This year, you don't have either one out there. What's practice? The difference in practice for you?
I don't think there's a difference in how we approach things. I think with those guys, it's a young room, but what's fun about it is you just see improvement every day, Whereas when you had a guy like Tegan and even Luke this year, it was minute little things with him, like, hey, focus on this, seeing this coverage, whatever it may be. With these guys, it's like, hey, you learn and you get better every single day, and it's pretty awesome to see that stack on top.
You coached Tegan from the get-go, saw him develop throughout. How did that help you develop these guys? Is this really your first? It's really your first coaching job as a tight ends coach.
Yeah, no, I think what it taught me, with any young guys, what it teaches you is you can't just assume. Like, these guys are 18, 19, 20, and as much as you're in there watching film as a coach, like, it's just they're not watching as much. So you don't skip steps, you don't skip the process, you stick to the process and you trust it. And it might be painful at getting every little detail right, but that pays out down the road. So
do you see any of that Tegan development or Luke development in a couple of these guys?
Well, I think everybody's a little bit different for sure in terms. I think where those guys, that group right now that we have, they came in with maybe some better things than Luke and Tegan, and Luke and Tegan came in with some better things maybe than them, and it's just finding the right fit, finding the right spot. It's not always plug and play with them. Sometimes it's, hey, you know what, this guy might be better at this, let's do it this way. And finding different ways to get, guys in the right spot.
Obviously, Jack Velling's given you a lift in the receiving game. What did you see from when you recruited him? What did you think you were getting?
Just a tough kid. One of the first plays that ever stood out to me with him. He's athletic. He's got that. He's a hooper. You can see it. It's in his DNA a little bit. But he was going against a really highly recruited DN who's at Ohio State now and in high school, and was able to get after that guy in the run game. That's kind of what gave me that. I think this guy's got the whole package type deal.
When Luke went down, what went through your mind in terms of I can turn to Jack and see what I got there?
Well, I think what it was really is we had kind of injuries really throughout camp, going back to that. So guys were able to step up and get some playing time and get some practice time. And with Jack, you just kind of saw him, again, freshman every day was like a huge step for him, and it was awesome to see. And then being able to put him in that role, along with using Coletto, along with using Overman, it's one where we could kind of ease him in early, and then, as the weeks have gone on, he's gotten more and more and more comfortable.
It's kind of been that way with the games too, hasn't it? Where the first game he was jumping and freshman stuff.
No doubt.
Now he's a guy that's your leading receiver.
His first true game starting was against the USC Trojans. That's not always easy, but we're not going to put a guy out there unless he's ready and we trust him.
With the tight ends you have out there, how are you feeling about their production and consistency and effort?
Well, to me, the first things first is we're trying to get out there and help the team win, so that's what's most important in that room. The production will come, and I always tell these guys, the better we do in the run game, the more that production is going to come open for us. And they've done that, and they're continuing to get better at it. So it's been good to see, obviously with what we were getting last week, loading the box, it was good to see that for the run game and being able to take advantage. Colorado, much the same. They're a big, stout group, man. We got to come ready to get that run game going.
How do you feel like Jake has progressed this season?
The nice thing about Jake is being the veteran in the group, which is wild to think. You can kind of just talk to him and he gets it pretty quick, So, hey, we're getting this look. Hey, try this with it. And he's pretty easy to correct and change or do something different. To where you trust him. He knows his stuff inside and out. He studies his butt off when it comes to the film, so it's fun to be able to put him in different spots.
How about the progress of JT and then Gabe? How are they? They haven't played as much, obviously.
Right. You know what? Gabe got banged up early on, right after camp. It was a bummer because he had a heck of a camp. You've seen Bryce Caulfield come on a little bit, who was out all of camp with the hamstring, but he's been back rolling, playing, at a high level and trying to knock some of that rust off. And then JT with him, it's, hey man, you're a big old 6'5", 250 guy. Keep working the physical part of the run game because that's where his big efforts are going to be for us. But it's good you got some depth there, and you can get those guys some licks.
What does Jack look like in a couple of years? Right now he's 6'5", 225. He hasn't really spent much time in the college weight room. What is he? I mean, is he going to be kind of a leaner type tight end, or is he 250, 255?
You know what? I think his frame, he's able to hold pretty good. He's already jumped up to 235, if not 240. I think he can stack it in different parts of his body. And with tight ends, I always tell them, it's not a 2 weeks, let's put on 20 pounds. It's a, hey, 5 months. Like it's a whole process, as we always talk. So, this guy's really limited what that kid can look like. I think he can look what you want to see and what you see on some Sundays with some guys. But it's all about the process and how he attacks it.
You've thrown an 85 jersey on a couple of offensive linemen, like Tommy and then Tyler Morano, I think, are the two. I mean, that's not something you did in the last few years. Is that just out of necessity in your heavy packages, or?
I think so. We did it in 2020 with Jalen Bush. And this year, Tommy moving to tackle, he's a tight end. But Tommy moving to tackle, we knew that would be a possible package with him. And I think truly him moving to tackles helped him so much in the run game that we really trust him. He knows it at the wide position. He's learned it before in the past 2-3 years, and really gives us some size. Whereas Tegan was kind of that guy last year. Didn't really maybe need a big guy. We trusted him a lot with it, and Tommy gives us that chance to give him a different position group they got to practice for.
Did you give up Tommy grudgingly, or?
It was
a negotiation.
Whatever's good for the team. No, I was happy for him. I thought it was going to be a good move for him. Yeah.
You mentioned the run game. How's the team feeling about what it's gotten, running the ball to this point in the season?
I think there's always room for improvement. I think they know that. I think, we feel pretty good about the different packages we can give teams, but we got to go execute, and I think we could even execute better than we did last Saturday. But to me, it's always growing. Same with the run game, same with the play action stuff, same with the drop back stuff. We got to find ways to get better in all entities.